Hey, it's Jason.
And I'm Kyle.
We're down here in Middletown, Delaware, where we wanted to show you a pondless waterfall that we wrapped up in the fall of 2024. So this project all started with the homeowner actually watching Laura from Garden Answer and seeing that Aquascape had built a pond for her at their place in Oregon. And Greg and I came out here and we had the opportunity to meet with the homeowners, and it was just a really fun experience from the very beginning. You know, one of the things I was super excited about when I got here was this Tidal Creek behind us. Before we even got into anything about the water feature, I was just blown away by the creek, the woods, and just this entire atmosphere that we were going to be building.
Yeah, I mean, we always go for a natural aspect, and to have a backdrop already here that lends itself to lets us put in waterfalls, running water, pond, fish, it doesn't get much better than this.
From design all the way to build, we kind of had to start at the creek and work our way back up, right? Yeah. So at least what I was thinking was, when you're up by the house, let's not really see where this water is ending and let it look like it's running down over into the creek.
We definitely wanted to make it seem as though that the whole feature is running down into what is already naturally here. But then again, when they're not right up close and interacting with the pond or the stream areas, when they are at the house and the deck and the screened-in porch, how can they still view and enjoy it?
So this bottom area right here is what we call a negative edge, and it's where the rock is coming down over, and it's also can be considered a pondless waterfall, and that's actually what we were going for at first. You know, the pond was kind of a little bit during our construction time, but this negative edge area was always the plan to see the water leaving the property and going down.
One of my favorite things to focus in on is the interaction with a water feature. Yes, they're nice to look at, they're awesome, the sound that they throw, but how do you get up close and personal with a water feature? And land bridges, seating areas, we have stepping stones. Even the grandchildren, from what the client has told me, they're in the pond constantly. So we have distinctly put in steppers to go in and out of the pond. That interaction, that takes these things to the next level. The original plan was small pooling area. There was no plan for fish. As we started building and having conversations with the client, we saw the opportunity is we're gonna do a deep enough pooling area for, I think the ultimate goal was the grandchildren to be able to play and them to interact. And another big focal point was going to be the aquatic plantings. But as that build starts to come together, that's where we see creative opportunities. And right here, to go deeper, I do think it was the crew and myself, this lends itself to a perfect, just small, very subtle, it's a pond / pooling area. We're deep enough to safely have fish and healthy enough to have the aquatic plantings that she was looking for. As we went through that process, the client was more than open to hear our recommendations, our ideas, the creative fun stuff. So when we got to this point and we explained what this could be, now instead of having that small pooling area, we have a pond with a bog on the side to keep this thing clean and clear. So with a system of this size and where we're at, we wanted that water clarity. So typically how this originally started was a pondless waterfall system. We were talking about spillway up at the top. We still ended up going with the spillway. But then the opportunity with the pond just lended itself to, let's put an offshoot bog right here down, I'd say on the lower third of the entire project. And again, everything kind of connected. The client was looking for plantable space. She has a huge interest in aquatic plantings. Here's her aquatic plant garden, not to mention the rest of the feature. But just to lay things out a bit differently, as opposed to having the bog at the top, start the waterfalls, just this space just lended itself to have this offshoot, small bog, keeping things clean and clear. We love to build the streams, the waterfalls, the big crashes, all of that. But even to switch gears in something like this, I think the main focal point was we need to create something that makes sense in this space. There's not a lot of elevation for that. We can still have the viewable aspect areas of the house that we're not blocking anything from them. So to keep everything real low, to really pay attention to the elevations as we're building, and then the sight and the sound that comes along with it, it fits the space. As we started building from the bottom up, we get to the stream area and we know we wanted to get some nice sweeps, some nice turns, and they had a down cherry tree very close to where all of our equipment and everything was coming in to begin with. So the crew and I, we start looking at things and, all right, why not try to cut some of these pieces up and let's see if they can fit in. And I couldn't be happier with the way that this whole section turned out utilizing that down cherry tree. This is the highest elevation. So we had to use larger boulder, still keeping in mind where the tops of those boulders are, still keeping them low profile to where, again, mimicking nature, to where this is the water source, this was the waterfall for their seating area. That's why we took such a harsh turn here and really tried to give them something visually and sound-wise that they can enjoy from at the top of the deck. But as we come around this turn and drop down, we got creative, and it was actually one of my crew members said, why not have that water flow right underneath of the rock? We can hide everything on the underside, we'll get it supported, and we did it with 2 boulder here right in front of me. I couldn't be happier with the way that turned out.
But once we were all done, we got to thank the homeowners for coming in and making this thing pop. They did a phenomenal job.
In this area, there was a dry riverbed, I believe, just for runoff water, and she had plants. They took the liberty, let's move these and transplant them. I mean, I'm talking anything from the hostas, the ferns, just out of the way, to then be brought back into the space once we were done with the bare bones of everything. Yes, kudos to them. They knocked it out of the park on this one. And I attribute that a lot to Laura from Garden Answer, Aquascape, all the content that she was able to see and realize what's possible. And then even more so to have us out and to entrust us to do our thing, to get creative. We knew the space, but as you go through these builds, that's when the creative aspects start coming out. I mean, we have the land bridge, the logs, the floating rocks, the turns, the twists. It just, everything aligned on this one, and again, I think I've said it 2 or 3 times. I couldn't be happier with the way this turned out.
Yeah, I know Greg and I had a blast designing this. I think you guys absolutely nailed it with building it, and I hope you like it as much as we did. So if you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, keep building your outdoor dreams. Hey, it's Jason.
I'm Kyle.
I wanted to show you the pond we built. Sorry, let's start over.